You alright guys, how's it going? It's David Clody from KZR Racing once again, and welcome back at long last to my F1 Manager 22 career mode for round number 20 of Season 2 at the Mexican Grand Prix. If you guys did miss the last episode, do feel free to check out my channel. The playlist with all the other subsequent episodes will be there. It's been a while actually since we've been here, like nearly 10 days actually. I have been off over Christmas, not only with family but also being very ill with my family. You might still hear it in my voice that I'm not quite recovered yet, but I was a lot better than what I was over Christmas. Yeah, Christmas with the family and the whole family being laid up for the exact same illness was not a pleasant experience, to say the least, but we're back now, and we're going to try and do our best to finish off these last 3 rounds of Season 2 before going into Season 3. A few little bits and pieces to do. Sebastian Vettel has development points, so actually, before we do that, let's go to the email, because it should have defending for Gasly, difficult race, and yep, these are the last periods of the ATR, the wind tunnel times, so we're going to make use of that. That's one thing we have got to do. What was the weakness of Sebastian braking? I believe it was, so we will do that. So Pierre Gasly hasn't got anything, neither does Jack Doohan. What about the staff? Head of Aerodynamics does. Do the low speed downforce there. And Ben Mitchell for Pierre Gasly. We will do the feedback again. So that's all that done. Right, okay, I had to cut away for a little bit. I've had to change my tactics because I can only put a maximum of 6 engineers on any project, and the earliest that underfloor will be done with is the 6th of January next year, and it won't let me, because it exceeds the allotted time, I can't actually do it. So I'm changing tack. I'm going to go the front wing first. We're going to do another one of them. And then we're going to go on to the rear wing as well. Do the same. I'm going to do the 30 hours on this one. I've done 29 hours on the front wing, but I'm going to put 30 on the rear wing. So now, if we go and do this, drag reduction, bump up the airflow, and then do the downforce pieces. So now, sorry, I've had to cut away. I had to do a bit of a cut away because I broke into a coughing fit, but that should. That's 10th of Jan. There we go. So that will also take care of that. And then for the final part, we will do the side pods, and we'll get some extra drag reduction going using the rest of the hours. So that, research focus, drag reduction, engine cooling, airflow, so drop this down just so we'll do airflow middle, that'll be better, and then so if we do, yeah, that'll do, that'll be good rounds, and then get as many people on as possible, just get it done and dusted. So okay, that is all the research done for next year. So now we have to go through and check parts. Okay, we need another chassis, so manufacture, get it done immediately because we need it for the next race. So how many? We need another front wing. That'll be done just in time, so we can do that. Rear wing. Still got plenty of them. Side pods. Okay on them. Underfloor. Okay on them. And suspension. Okay on them. Right. Yep, that's all good. That's all good and good. So now, I'll just skip through. That's the front wing done. So, bore confidence check-in. We should still be all good on that. Yep, high confidence. Mexican Grand Prix. Monthly car review. And the front wing manufacturer. So now, with that all done and dusted, we will go through our performance targets. So, Q2, finishing position, and finishing position streak. That should be all done. So, without any further ado, let's go through to the Mexican Grand Prix. Okay, now, we're still pretty good in the championship at the moment, so what I will intend to do is Sebastian will make way for Jack, and we will sim this session. Go through there. Penalties galore again. Both Ferraris, Perez, Zhou. That's about it at the moment. So, we've got some good setup confidence going on already, so that's a good start. So I'm going to go through all the setup for both guys, and providing nothing happens, I will see you guys at the end of practice. Okay, that's the end of the practice. No quick times to talk about because it took me a while to try and zero in on a decent setup for both Sebastian and Pierre. And as you can see, 82 and 87 was the best I could do after all of that. So we're going to probably be in for the long haul on this one, guys. Not going to lie, it's going to be a struggle. So we'll go through qualifying best we can, and hopefully, if we can get far enough up the grid, we can get decent position after everyone else take their penalties. All right, Gasly in Q2 is going to come around the final corner. I'm hoping he can get out of Q3. No, he can't. No. P12, unfortunately, behind Stroll. And Sebastian Vettel was P17, so depending on the penalties for Leclerc, Perez, Sainz and Zhou, that's P8 maybe for Gasly, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see it for the race tomorrow. So we're going to go through and do the strategy. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure I don't forget to do this time, is I'm going to bump up their fuel a good way. Not a lot this time though, because I know for a fact that it's going to be, so is it 71 laps race length, so we'll go 78 laps. That'll be ideal. So we'll do the same here, so 78 laps. That should give us a bit more leeway to play with. So now we've got one stops across the board. Going to do the long game with Seb. So let's have a look at this one. So we'll say 31 for Sebastian for mediums to hards. And for Gasly, what would help is if I actually save the bloody strategy with Sebastian. So 31, update strategy. There we go, that's better. And then for Gasly, it's going to be a bit touch and goes. So we're going to do the same for Gasly. Only we'll have him come in a lap earlier, because his tyre wear is generally a little bit harder. And then we'll adjust the strategy as and when we need to. So do that. And then go on here, here, and deploy at the start, because it's going to be a long run down to turn 1. Do the same for Gasly. So, yeah. So now, with that done, let us go to the grid for the Mexican Grand Prix.
The drivers there lined up on the grid under mostly sunny skies. There we have Pierre Gasly. They're in the back half of the pack, so they'll need to work hard if they want a podium finish. And for the second driver, it's Sebastian Vettel. They'll be starting the race from the bottom half of the grid, so there's a fair bit of ground to make up. The teams are ready to go. What will happen next?
Okay, green flag at the back. 5 red lights to the Mexican Grand Prix.
And it's lights out.
And we are away. So Gasly only made up 1 place. Everyone else only had 5 place grid penalties. He's unfortunately dropped down to 12th because Alonso, Norris has got the jump on us. He's going to get that place back and 1 off the AlphaTauri of Stroll as well, maybe. As we go round. Oh no, the Red Bull! The Red Bull just went sideways, right in the middle of the pack. And that is slowed down. It is Verstappen, the pole sitter, who went sideways. And he's actually lost the lead to Valtteri Bottas in the Alfa Romeo. And and the Alpine of Fernando Alonso, luckiest man alive, has somehow managed to squeak through that. And has got up into P2. While we're still stuck in 12th because of Verstappen's spin. Luckiest man alive, Fernando Alonso. I can't believe him sometimes. So let us go standard on both these guys. We'll keep them high on the fuel. We've got Ocon for company with us as well, which is not ideal. Gasly, we're going to go aggressive on his tyres because we're going to be pitting a little bit earlier. So now, what is everyone's... everyone's starting on the mediums bar. Ocon, Norris, Ocon and Schumacher, so... We'll have to see how that goes because I want Gasly to be still within the DRS range of Norris, so I've got to keep him on aggressive for a little bit. To try and keep touch with him, even though it's going to be very difficult with him being on the softs. But yeah, I can't believe Verstappen actually did that and it allowed Alonso. I just can't believe how lucky this man gets sometimes in this career mode. He's managed to sneak through into second. Bottas is leading, and he's pulling out quite a decent gap already. And Verstappen, who's no doubt livid at the mistake he made, he's going to want to hunt down Alonso and take back that second and chase after Bottas. And we've got Russell, the 2 Ferraris, Hamilton, Magnussen, Perez and Stroll. Rounds out the top 10, but Norris, Gasly and Ocon are not too far behind of that last points position. So now we're going to go on to the next lap. As you can hear, just hear there, DRS is now enabled. As for Vettel, he's dropped away from Ricciardo a little bit. He's stuck with the 2 Williams Show and Hulkenberg. So now, let us skip ahead a little bit towards the end of the back straight. So we watch the cars go through there. And here's Gasly. He's got DRS off of Norris, which is what I needed from him. don't particularly want to have to deal with Ocon chasing him down with DRS, so we'll put Gasly back to standard now on his tyres. That should help protect. That should help him get to where he needs to go in the stint. So now we have to play this one a little bit smarter, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip away to later on in the race, and hopefully we have some positive changes to talk about later on.
Let's take a closer look.
Okay, we're skipping through a few laps earlier. Verstappen retook the lead and then immediately locked up and went wide. So Max Verstappen is having probably one of the most eventful Grand Prix for all the wrong reasons. Gasly unfortunately did drop out of Norris's DRS range and ended up losing the place to Ocon, who's now gone and caught up to the back of that train, while Gasly's still sat back here. The thing is, I don't want to push the tyres too hard because I know for a fact that we're not going to make the stint if we do. But I don't know. I don't know what the pace for these guys is going to be like later on, because they're pitting early for hards, whereas we're stopping a little bit later. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm not overly optimistic at the moment, especially with Alonso being where he is now. As you can see on the timing sheet, has just gone into the lead, which is not what I need to see happening in this championship battle that we're having with Alpine for P4 in the title hunt. So yeah, not really going to be enjoying this race if this carries on the way it is, guys. Okay, lap 21, just a quick update. The front runners of the usual suspects have already caught up to Alonso. Bottas has already pitted. He pitted early and has gone to a set of hard tyres from a set of mediums, which I know he started on. So I'm a little bit thrown off by that, because that means that for definite he's doing a two-stop, and I just don't see why that would be the case. There you go. Russell's also now pitted from the mediums, as has Stroll and Perez. They've all stopped from the mediums, and there's Russell on the hards. There's hards for Perez. There's hards for Stroll as well. Albon's come in as well. These guys really doing the two-stop? Huh. Have to keep an eye on that. But Ocon and Norris should be coming in soon if that is the case. It's only a matter of time now, because Alonso's got Verstappen, both Ferraris and Hamilton directly behind him. So it's only going to be a matter of time before they eventually overtake him and leave him behind. I don't know, guys. It's starting to become a little bit weird how this is panning out. So we'll have to see. Yep, and right on time, Norris and Ocon have just pitted as well, as has Schumacher. So soft tyre runners are now in, and they are on the hard tyres. And there goes. Actually caught up quite a bit. Norris is Perez, but he's now dropped behind both. Norris has dropped behind Stroll, who's now on the hard tyres. And Zhou is still on the mediums. He's still going a bit longer, as are we. We're going to be stretching these tyres a little bit longer. I know Gasly's going to be coming in lap 30 and Vettel lap 31. So we're definitely doing the 1 stop, but are the other guys around us doing the 2 stop? It's still got question marks over it, unfortunately, that one. Vettel's in the background of Ocon. I was hoping if Vettel could be a little bit closer, but not to be, unfortunately. So Gasly's got Bottas directly behind him. Tell you what, on the next straight, I'm just going to let Bottas go. I'm not going to fight this too hard. So we're going to go conserve.
Yeah, take it easy.
Yeah, just let him go, Pierre. Just let him go. Don't f around with him. Or just ignore me completely.
No saving required.
Copy it.
Right. I'm just going to leave Pierre to do his thing then, if he's obviously just going to ignore me. So we'll come back when these guys need to go into the pits. Okay, end of lap 30, and here comes Gasly. He's going to come into the pits now. He's going to lose a little bit of time, but hopefully with the fresh tyres, that'll keep him going for the next 40 laps to the end. We did 31 on the mediums, so that should 40 laps on the hards should see him through to the end. Here comes Sebastian. He's going to cross the line. And now we're going to call him in for the same. Pit this lap. Attack all the way in. And here comes Gasly out in 14th. That'll be back up to 13th when Sebastian pits. And here he comes. Into the pits now, and there goes Gasly, not far behind. Back up into 13th. Meanwhile, after the pits at the front, Leclerc now leads, having come out from, quite frankly, nowhere, having run his tyres a lot longer. He's ahead of Verstappen. Bottas is back into 3rd. Hamilton, Russell have gotten ahead of the Alpine of Alonso, who's now got Sainz directly behind him. That's only a matter of time before he gets past. Perez as well in 8th, having set the fastest lap as well. Just quickly put Sebastian back onto here. And Stroll and Norris round out the top 10, with Magnussen and Ocon not far behind. And then quite a ways back is Gasly in P13. So put it back on standard. He's warmed up his tyres a little bit now. So now, we got yellow flags is set to 3. Competitor locked up. It's not Sebastian. It's Magnussen who's locked up, and it's allowed Ocon through to an easy P11. So this is not going to be good if Ocon gets past Norris. It's going to be 25, 18, 15, 12, 10, 8, 9 points in total. Still not much, but over 3 races, that's going to add up if we don't score anything. Meanwhile, Norris has gotten past Stroll with relative ease. So now Stroll's going to be the one under attack from Ocon soon. So, boring middle stretch of the race, guys. So, we'll skip through and see how the race unfolds towards the end. Okay, lap 51, not much to talk about, aside from the fact that a few drivers have now come in for their second stop. That includes Bottas and Russell up front. And behind us, Stroll and Albon as well have made a second stop. Along with Perez, sorry, he's made one as well. So, I don't think it's going to be long until these guys start coming in again. Magnussen's already caught up to the back of Ocon and Norris, and Perez has only just come out behind them, so it's only going to be a matter of time before they get busy. Meanwhile, Sainz, as I thought he would, has finally gotten past Alonso. And those guys will be stopping again, along with the guys up front. So, I know at some point that I'm going to get ahead of Russell, Ocon and Magnussen when they pit with Gasly. And then it's a case of just trying to make these tyres last until the end of the race. So, let's fast forward and let's hope we can at least score some points out of this. Okay, we're currently on lap 60 now, and Ocon, Magnussen and Norris have still not pitted. They've kept on going, as has Alonso, even though Alonso's tyres and Sainz's are pretty much done, and they're going to be caught by Russell, Bottas and Perez, who are coming at them. I'm in the same boat because I've got Stroll now slowly creeping up behind me. And these guys are still not pitted, so they're seeing out the one stop all the way to the end. And I'm 3.8 seconds back. I'm not going to catch those guys. But Stroll is going to catch me. Ideally, I need a late safety car, bolt on a set of softs and just go for it, really. That's the only real chance I think I've got, in all honesty. So let's skip through and see what happens. Okay, a few laps to go, and Gasly has managed to catch up to the back of that train.
Use overtake.
So now, let's see if we can do anything.
Push a bit more.
Okay.
Norris looks like he's going to make a move on Ocon, hopefully.
It's 4 to go.
Okay.
And he does so. We're still, unfortunately, at the back of the train.
Take it easy.
Not with a lot to do. But we are in the train, that's the main thing. So we're going to stick with them throughout these last few laps. Go on board with Gasly, see what we can do. In the meantime, Perez has caught up to the back of Alonso, along with George Russell. So hopefully, just stick with Perez on this run. See if he can get close enough to Alonso. No, Alonso looks like he's going to make the move on Carlos Sainz. And there he goes, round the outside. Hopefully Sainz will fight this off a little bit. Alonso's going to get the second bite of DRS though, and here comes Perez. He'll follow Alonso through, which is ideal really, because Perez has got a better chance of overtaking Alonso and staying there. Meanwhile, Sainz is still fighting this, which I ideally don't need him to. I need Perez to get ahead and then start challenging Alonso. Meanwhile, Gasly dropped away a little bit at the start of this lap. Again, nothing really coming of it with Gasly. Meanwhile, Perez and Sainz have gotten ahead of Alonso. So now we just need George Russell to get ahead, just to take some more points off the Alpine. Just need George to find a little bit of a gap, hopefully. Not quite. And I'll stick with Gasly into the final sector. Get him on overtake early.
Use overtake.
Yeah.
And aggressive on the tyres. See if we can do anything.
We're good to push.
Copy.
Just dropped a little bit too far away though, unfortunately. It's not looking good. Meanwhile, Ocon still thinking about that move on Norris, but Stroll is going to get ahead of him. Lance Stroll is just getting ahead of the Alpine and does so. Meanwhile, Stroll is already having a look at the McLaren. And that's going to give Ocon an opportunity. No.
It's a crash.
Oh no, Alonso's crashed out.
Let's see what happened there. Now,
What on earth happened there?
Alonso's car.
I was coming up to the stadium section. Is he going to lock? Yeah, he locks up and straight on
Collision there.
into the
Very
wall.
unfortunate.
And if there was a big break that we ever needed, when we ever needed one, that was it. Alonso's got severe damage. He's carried on, but he is gonna... He's carried on with all that damage. He's still 30 seconds ahead of Norris, so he can still technically score these points. Meanwhile, this last chance, really, with Gasly to try and do anything here.
Last lap now.
And unfortunately, all the other guys have broken the toe. Meanwhile, just ahead, Ocon is still stuck behind Stroll and Norris fighting each other, so that's ideal. We're going to put Gasly on deploy. We're going to use up all the energy here to try and do something about this.
Use
In the
energy.
In the meantime, Charles Leclerc has won the Mexican Grand Prix. Gasly's gotten ahead of Magnussen.
Good job.
So Gasly's starting to make the moves now.
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race.
He only just caught that briefly, but Magnussen was looking at the back of trying to make a move on Ocon. Wasn't paying attention to what was going on around him. And Gasly sneaks one round the outside. And now, there's Ocon ahead of us. Alonso does manage to cross the line in 8th, so he did have enough of a gap.
Okay.
Meanwhile, here comes Gasly. He's going to go around the outside of Ocon into the stadium section. This is purely for pride here, but he's going to do it. He's just about going to do it. Ocon's going to have the inside line, though, but Gasly holding it around the outside. Come on, Pierre. Come on. Come on. And he does it. He makes it stick.
Check the flag.
Yeah, we lost some big points and so that's it.
Yeah. We did lose some
When you stop.
points, but
5 seconds. 0.
we did lose some points, but we were technically in the points fight. It's just obviously the pace and strategy didn't allow for us to make a good go of it, unfortunately, but there we are. There's the final classification. Charles Leclerc, after his grid penalty, wins the Mexican Grand Prix. He's still trying to keep his title fight alive. Max Verstappen will finish 2nd. Another podium for Valtteri Bottas in 3rd. Then Hamilton, Perez, Russell, Sainz, Alonso, even after crashing in the final laps, still manages to get 8th with a damaged car. Stroll and Norris round out the top 10. And that means then not much has changed in the driver's standings at the moment, although Hamilton is slowly starting to close back in on Gasly, so I fear that's only a matter of time because of our focusing on next year, that Hamilton might take back that 5th place in the drivers. We'll have to see at the next Grand Prix what happens, but in the constructors, still holding on, only 4 points gained from Alpine, so at the moment it's... If we can hold it that for the next 2 races, we will secure the P4 in the constructors and a massive payday if that's the case. So another steady race that unfortunately didn't come to much, but we still met the objectives, so we still get a little bit of cash in return. So at the moment, we've got 11 days until the Brazilian Grand Prix. A few things that we can do. Another development point for Gasly. So we'll have a look, and then we'll have a look at that, and then hopefully, once we've wrapped up and secured this year, we should hopefully be in the mix for some better results next year if the research comes back with all what we're hoping it will. So for now, guys, I hope you all did enjoy this episode. Do feel free to leave a like and a comment. It really helps. And don't forget to share this video around. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of those videos. I'm David Clayton of KZR Racing, and I will see you next time for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Goodbye.